Wait, I can watch this.
Yeah.
Like, while I'm at camp, I can go to week 3. Like, during week 3.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
We post it on Facebook. The sessions, not like the chapel and stuff.
Right. Reporters usually sit here.
Yeah, they sit here. Historically, is because like no one in the gallery could hear what was actually being said on the house floor without like the microphones and stuff. So they're like, okay, well the press can like sit here. Now it's just like more matter of like tradition than anything else.
I'm surprised Gideon's only talking once.
Yeah. Why did you text him? I feel like he needs a topic.
He only talks one time. But I will say he is an open debate supporter as well. That's not saying sometimes.
Oh, he is, yeah, for Jefferson Green. I'm surprised he wasn't asked more.
All right, House members, you must sit at a desk that has a piece of paper on the upper ledge. Find one and grab a piece of paper and set it down, and that way you can tell easily what desks are still available.
Oh, good. You guys have these.
My hand is in the live stream.
Yeah, it is. You can type out a Morse code message.
I'm down on Morse code. You want to see Nice. I love it.
Do you guys need any more? Do you guys need any more information or anything before all the sessions get started? Are y'all good? That's a good memory right there. That's a good memory right there.
Alex was snoring. Do you ever use that thing? Or you put notes on the thing? Yep. What the heck is this?
What?
I did not take that picture.
You probably did.
You know what, Owen? I don't like
It's your phone. Who would have taken a picture on your phone?
my siblings. This is a summary of my
What?
This is a summary of my
That's dark.
I know.
You want to see my friend who says he's perfectly fine with
What?
cannibalism.
I didn't say that at all. My two girls are fucking together. Is that her question?
I gave them to an agency member and they said it was fine. So they are with the agency. I think Samuel Moan has it. In my opinion, I believe I saw it.
Corn, you know what I said?
No, I'd love to.
I said all these little kids are about to hurts.
You know what? You could be positive for one time.
I have plenty of times.
I mean,
I'm positive.
I'm looking at the guy who beat my girlfriend right now. My girlfriend's dad. So, that's my an election. Her dad was her. He beat us.
His girlfriend, dad, was
Who's
running for state rep. Shut up, I'm explaining it. It's my girlfriend. The guy who doesn't like was running against him. He was part of the campaign team. So when he said beat us, he meant
He sits right there.
okay.
I actually opened up his desk.
Senators, if I call your name, please gather in the back of the room. You're going to be taken on the tour of the Capitol during the first bill. And so the following people, please gather. Hannah, Cyrus, Michaela, Joshua, Mary Elizabeth, Buddy, Naomi, Anna, Dot, Luke, Eric, Zach. Okay, gather in the back of the room by our NBC vote. And then the rest of you, if you're not starting the bill, find your seat. And if you're starting the bill, stay in your position.
Good afternoon, members. Real quick, can I say again when I call your committee name? Show me your hand. Washington, hands up, please. Okay. Interesting. Jefferson. And Adams. Okay. And Washington. So Washington Green. Can I see Washington Green's hands? Okay. So green is on the right, should all be on the right, blue should all be on the left. Can I ask that everybody grab, make sure they have this over and adjust real quick so that you're sitting with your appropriate team members. Okay, so next up, we're going to move you. Okay. All right, now Washington blue, I see your hands, please. All right. Washington blue, keep your hands up. Adams, what, Washington Green? Are you guys doing the hands on Washington Green real quick? Washington Green, all right, Adams Green. Good. We good? All right, wonderful, thank you all. And again, good afternoon, especially to our guests in the gallery. Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you. It's been a blast this last week, right, guys? We worked hard, but we've had fun. We've had a night at JOC, so I'm privileged of leading the district here at SSI and our ladies on the camp. And it's been a joy to be with your students this week. They worked hard. I think we've played hard as well, which has been wonderful. Most importantly, you guys have taken this simulation seriously. We've worked hard. On Sunday night, we were doing the real bills for the Michigan legislature. We were divided into teams, the 30 committee games, such as Jefferson, caucuses, our teams within those committees, and we'll bring to Jefferson Green versus Jefferson Blue. These are real bills again, so if you hear your students debating on something, why are they talking about that, or why would they support that? Please remember, they've been assigned to support or oppose certain bills. Each committee is assigned to support Bill A or oppose Bill B. On all the other bills that are not sponsored by someone in their committee, they can vote how they would want. So if you hear the president even vote for you to support things, you can chastise them appropriately. But for now, please just recognize the importance of the simulation and their hard work in it. These are real bills, as we talked, that affect real people who have real problems. And you guys just need to get the real work. So before we begin, before a single one of you has given a speech, I want to know that we've already achieved a little bit of victory this week, and you deserve recognition for that. So we're going to give it a house and a round of applause. When it is your turn to speak, you'll be called by your last name. For example, Representative Price, Representative Criminal, Representative Ali. It's spelled in that area. All right. We'll call you by name in that group. You will stand up as a group and approach the mic nearest to you. If all of you are here, one mic will stand in a line there for you to speak. As one is recognized, for example, we'll follow through the things of Representative Price who have the floor. Representative Price, you get to speak. And then as soon as your speech is done, you sit down and ask person to step up and open up your mouth. Okay? When it comes time to vote, there are three options for voting. You may vote yea in support of the legislation. You may vote nay in opposition to the legislation. You may abstain. You'll notice on the desk there are multiple colors of buttons. Please do not touch the buttons, especially not the red one. It never ends well. But in the real world, you can vote. Those are your choices. And those buttons there, either you could yes, whatever. No, anyone want to guess one color? Request for an extension. Yellow. Color counts. No. You can abstain, but I ask that you use it lightly. Your colleagues have worked just as hard as you this week, and they deserve your attention and your respect, and they deserve your vote one way or another. You have two ways in which you can exercise these options to vote. One, you can use a vote in support of the bill that you feel most strongly about. You can vote your conscience. Or you can serve as a debate judge, and you can analyze their arguments, look for logical reasoning, look for the sources that they go. How well do they know the bill? How well do they listen to their arguments? And you can vote to give them the credit for what they've done. That is totally up to you, but as long as the bill is outside of your committee, the bills you've been assigned to support, you must vote yes. The bills you've been assigned to oppose, you must vote no. Thank you. To remind you, I am the speaker, not the president. I am the speaker of the House. When you stand and give your speech, you will say, "Thank you, Mr. Speaker." You thank the speaker because the speaker is quite literally the one who allows you to speak. Under the Constitution, as an elected member of the state legislature, you have one right and one right only. And that is the right to vote on legislation that is presented. You have the right to an office, you have the right to a staff. You have the right to the desk that you sit at. If you really take standing up, I can take away your desk, make you stand in square on the floor. That's how the house is run. Sounds brutal because it is. But you have a right to vote. So when you're allowed to speak, you can speak in recognition of that. You should also have your speech in that way. Please, I will be very kind to you right now and remind you that you will have different speakers throughout your session. Please be aware of who they are, whether you should refer to them as Mr. Speaker or Madam Speaker or otherwise. They get to go as the fire with the gavel right here, and they will take great pleasure in gaveling you down correctly. All right? If you are gaveling down correctly, it's okay. All right? I know some of you are nervous about that, or just giving your speeches, and I encourage you to remember that you've been preparing for this all means, that you are quite capable and equipped for what is to come today. We have a floor leader. You can have a floor leader stand as an example. Please just stand right here. So the floor leader will be utilizing this podium. Please, no one else is allowed to use that podium on the floor leader. You can sit down and as you are giving your speech, as you come to the end of your time, the floor leader will stand. Unless that is not 10 seconds, when the floor leader stands, your time has expired and you should stop and jump to that last sentence. When we talk about speech structure, we discussed this. You should have a strong closing sentence if you're ready. Well, they say 10 seconds before. Okay. They stand about 10 seconds before warning you for time to come. So if you are still in the middle of your speech, you see, oh, the floor leader is standing and they're looking very intimidated looking at you. Okay? Be intimidated and jump to the end of your speech. Don't be intimidated, but jump to the end of your speech and close out the argument followed with that closing statement that we discussed. Okay? If you continue to go over time, once those 10 seconds have expired, it's I can say, representative, your time has expired. At which point, you will stop speaking. I should say, thank you, Mr. Speaker, please vote yes, or please vote no, and then we'll sit down. Otherwise, you can have nothing to say, okay? So just be aware when they stand up, you have 10 seconds, when they speak, your time is up and ends, okay? You can always finish the sentence you're in, okay? But I'm going to make you stop the sentence and sit down. Yeah, I'm elaborating because I know a couple of you are nervous, but that's okay. You're going to do well. Don't be nervous if someone interrupts you, so your time is expired. You gavel down, recover, and move forward. Please make sure you take the name tags off. As we sit here, don't hold the boards or touch the desks, other than utilize your binder. Discuss voting and everything else. I think we're good. Remember, as you vote, you'll scan your desk. When it's called, you sit back down and scan your vote. When you're told to sit back down, you scan your instructions. All right, so please just follow the instructions clearly. With that, class will come to order. Members, please take note. Rule 32 is now in effect. Please remain at your desks. The clerk will give the roll call.
Mr. Speaker, there are 40 members present.
Any of the math quizzes in the audience, or something over 80% plus ones? 21, well done, homeschoolers and others. 21 votes are required to pass a piece of legislation, 50% plus one, simple majority, 50% plus one. Please stand, members of the guests in the gallery. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing until the hour of national Christ with us for the invocation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your heads. Lord Jesus, I thank you for today. I thank you for the outstanding performance by the senators this morning. I pray that as the representatives come home, as they come to the desks for the first time, I pray that you would fill them with courage, that you would fill them with wisdom, and that they would listen to one another, evaluate the arguments wisely, and that they would speak boldly. I pray this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. Speaker, I move that HB 6183 and SC 98. Discharge from, be discharged from committee and be referred to the committee of the whole.
The floor leader has moved that HB 6183 and SB 98 be discharged from committee and referred to the committee of the whole. Is there objection? Seeing no objection to those referred to the committee as a whole.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we take up item 1 on the calendar, HB 683.
The clerk will read.
House Bill number 6183, legal to amend 1954 DA 116, titled Michigan 11. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill is now open for debate. The sponsors of the bill may present opening arguments. Representative Price, Gugno, and Valiant. Please. Representative Price, you have the floor.
First, many studies have shown that extending voting rights is second, having children vote is showing use of politics, must not use of parents and use of politics. Third, the point that gives the 16 and 17 just gives the parents an vote. It's very smart to argue using against the legislature, which was, of course, concerning downloads. Fourth, given the right to vote, studies have shown that 60 to 70-year-olds will vote more than any other age group. Finally, 60 to 70-year-olds are willing to vote will provide more representation in society. If 60 and 70-year-olds can vote and not Democrats say, these points are why we appreciate the rights of 60 and 70-year-olds. Please vote on House Bill 6.
Thank you. Representative Gugno, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'm speaking in support of House Bill 618, lower voting age to 16. We have a major problem in our society. Taxation without representation. Our 16 and 17-year-olds are working jobs and paying income tax. Their money is being used by the state commission. They have no say where or what their money is going into. The opposing team may argue that 14 and 15-year-olds pay taxes too. Why should they vote as well? I'm afraid they are not acknowledging the fact that 14 and 15-year-olds don't receive the same privileges as 16 and 17-year-olds, such as a driver's license, the option to move out, and the option to join the military. The voting age should be lowered to 16. Taxation without representation is wrong. It should be eliminated. Remember to vote yes for House Bill 6183. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. You may be seated. Representative Valiant, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm speaking in support of House Bill 6183, which enacts to lower the voting age to 16 years. More than ever, Michigan needs voices speaking up and people participating in the action occurring in government. We need newfound enthusiasm and vivid eagerness and awareness. What if what we need is prevented from participating and speaking? What if it's the younger generation? House Bill 6183 would allow 16 to 17-year-olds voices to be heard. These teenagers would be encouraged to participate and take action when they see needs to change. Awareness for the government would arise in them. Family discussions and new worldviews and thoughts would be rose. 16 and 17-year-olds would be challenged to take a look around them and see that who is seated in government and what is passed there is important and affects their everyday lives. This opportunity ensures equality for 16 and 17-year-olds and gives them the courage to research for themselves, speak up, and begin their journey as an active American citizen. Because we want a generation not only involved, but engaged in our government. And we want 16 to 17-year-olds aware by the choices the government makes that affect them, they should be allowed to vote. I urge you to pass this bill that promotes participation, equality, and maturity. Vote yes to House Bill 6183. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. The opposing caucus may now present the opposing arguments. Representative Krogar, CB, and Kaufman. You may approach the microphone. Representative Kroger, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 6183 proposed multiple issues with 16 and 17-year-olds voting, including the issue of 16 and 17-year-olds not having proper knowledge or knowledge of political opinions. If we give 16 and 17-year-olds the right to vote, they might just ask their parent or guardian who to vote for, thus displaying lack of knowledge and maturity to vote, and practically giving their parent or guardian a second vote in an election. Giving 16 and 17-year-olds the right to vote will potentially raise the voting turnout at the polls, but let uninformed teens the right to vote make decisions related to the government and affect everyone around it. Waiting until 18 to vote gives teens 2 extra years to develop their own political views on current issues and candidates. 16 and 17-year-olds voting may result with a generation leaning towards one political party due to the influence of teaching at schools and the influence of celebrities who make large impacts in today's society. Teens who are very vulnerable to peer pressure can cause issues to governments and communities if House Bill 6183 passes. I urge you, Representatives, stand against the flaws and potential danger of House Bill 6183 and keep our voting age at 18 and make younger teens further from their political views before going to the polls and potentially affecting communities and the entire state of Michigan. Please vote for what is right and say no to House Bill 6183. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. You may be seated. Representative Seeley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will be speaking in opposition to House Bill 6183, lowering the voting age. This bill is advocating to lower the voting age to 16 and 17-year-olds. The voting age has been lowered before, but that was for a specific purpose during the Vietnam War. Our country drafted 18-year-olds to go and fight. Our nation's leaders thought that it would be fair to allow these soldiers to have a say in who should lead the country with their assets. That was the only time the voting age in America was lowered. It was a necessity. This sense of urgency is not present today. Adopting this bill would be a terrible idea because it creates the space for parental bias. The larger portion of immature 16 and 17-year-olds will rely on their parents to tell them who to vote for. This will not only give their parents a second vote, but also take away the teenagers' right to choose. They can't really say that they get a lot of responsibilities when they turn 16 because driving and joining the military will both require their parental consent. And besides, I don't get how this law can really be used for people. Yes, I understand that it can help certain parents, and yes, I believe that this could affect them, but they are still minors and mostly live under their parent or guardian's house, meaning that this law mostly won't affect their lives. Besides the fact that they will get one new responsibility in voting, but they should learn how to develop education and wait until they're 18 to vote. Thanks for your time. time and vote nay on House Bill 6183.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Kaufman, you may be seated. Representative Kaufman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here to discuss the shortcomings of House Bill 6183, which lowers voting age. Reducing the age limit for voting does not ensure that those under 18 are provided with the representation that America was made to give them. In fact, this problem isn't something that can be improved by future bills or laws. This is because those under 18 are covered and represented by their parents or guardians. It is clear that young children and babies do not have the ability to live independently in the world. Thankfully, we have parental rights which give the ability for parents to provide everything that the child needs to grow up. When the child becomes an adult, they are no longer represented by their parents, and it is at this point that they need individual representation. As a young person becomes more responsible, the parent is present to teach them what to do with the new freedom they are experiencing. But this doesn't mean that they are ready to make independent decisions, nor does this mean that they get extra privileges that those younger don't. Everything from medical procedures to getting a driver's license to getting married must fall under the guidance and signature of their parents or guardian. Children will also not finish high school before this age, which means they are not done with training that is preparing them for the real world. After the child has had many years to be taught and covered by their parents, and has completed the education provided to equip them for active citizenship in America, the time comes for the child to become an adult. Because they are not legally under the protection of their parents, they can make their own decisions then. So when do children become adults? Age 18. When you are 18, you can be drafted into the Army during the war and can sign a legally binding contract by yourself. This is the age you finish high school, which is the last provided education designed to prepare you for the world. When then will the logical age to place the ability to make independent decisions concerning society, such as voting? 18 is the age that people become adults and are not legally answerable to their guardians. I urge you to vote no on HB 6183 to prevent the voting age from lowering and let the real adults who actually need representation vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. You may be seated. Sponsors may now present the law arguments. Representatives Fluch and Representative Barons. You may take the microphone. Representative Fluch, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here in support of House Bill 6183. I thoroughly believe, even though that 16-year-olds are not adults whatsoever, they should still be represented by the government. The government affects so much in their everyday lives, from the roads they drive on to where their tax money is going. They should have a say in all of that. Parents, the same argument that was used in the women's suffrage movement was just used. Basically, everybody thought during the women's suffrage movement that basically each house got one more vote. This is the exact same with 16 and 17-year-olds. Each house simply gets one more vote to whoever their parents are voting on. This bill also helps with teens and younger people getting involved in politics more than 18-year-olds. Most 18-year-olds are out of the house and they can't talk to their parents about what voting, which person they should vote on. And also, some people may argue that 18-year-olds are not necessarily developed or 16-year-olds, but I believe it's all the same. So vote yea on House Bill 6183 and give 16 and 17-year-olds representative. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Barons, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So there were a few arguments used against this bill, but I think all of them are unfounded. For example, one of the arguments was that teens would just listen to their peers, do whatever their friends say. But wouldn't it be the same when they were in college? Because they still have that friendship.
So because of all these points, you should vote yes on House Bill.
Thank you, Representative. The debate is now open for supporting and opposing arguments from the other caucuses. Representative Stoll and then Representative Pastor may approach the microphone. And Representative Stoll, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill, lowering the voting age act, I oppose this bill. It undermines the parental rights, as many have been saying, and they can't even sign a legal binding document yet at this age. And their vote will count as a legal vote. The connection is not completely there, and there's other, And so thank you all for listening, and I urge you to all vote nay on lowering the voting age. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative. And just a reminder to all of you that if you are going to adjust the microphone, please adjust the stand to not the microphone yourself. Representative Pastor, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once our children turn 16, a variety of rights and responsibilities are given to them. From being able to legally drive and get married, being able to work full-time and going to an ordinance. If we trust these young adults to take on these responsibilities, should we not also be able to expect them to make informed decisions on matters that affect them personally? For these reasons, I support HB 6183 and urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative.
Mr. Speaker, I move next question.
Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. All those opposed to the bill, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. If there are any exceptions, please stand now. Thank you. You may be seated. The clerk will now give a count.
Mr. Speaker, there are 8 yes votes, 31 no votes, and 1 abstention.
The bill receiving insufficient number of votes is not passed.
Madam Speaker, I will begin the next item on the calendar, item 2, House Bill 4006.
The bill is now open for debate. Sponsor the bill and present opening arguments. Representative Fisher, please begin. Representative Fisher, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Today, we are gathered to discuss the state of emergency responders in HB 4006. Currently, 4,000 Michiganders are missing, but the state government has not mandated the means to locate the person fast enough. State and federal law enforcement may be unable to locate the users of wireless devices in time because carriers are not required to disclose device location information. In the case of an emergency, when the user of the device may be at risk of death or physical harm, time is of the essence. Fellow colleagues, observe with me an incident that occurred in Kansas in the year 2007. Law enforcement was denied access to the device location information of the victim and the victim's cell phone carrier finally released the information 4 days later. The victim's body was found within an hour. In 2009, the state of Kansas was the first to enact the Kelsey-Smith Act, and other states have followed its lead, adopting Kelsey-Smith laws of the same caliber. It is time for Michigan to take action and prevent the loss of lives. Remember to vote yes for House Bill number 4006. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, you have to leave. Representative Cooey,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am supporting House Bill 4006, cell phones in emergencies. Wireless carriers are now required to give the location of devices to law enforcement in the case of serious injury or possibility of death. Essentially, this bill would not call for subpoena by law enforcement in order to access a missing or affected person's location information. Meaning, instead of waiting for wireless carriers to disclose information in the case of an emergency, they would have to disclose it in a shorter amount of time to law enforcement. After this occurs, law enforcement is able to temporarily track the device location of the person in danger. House Bill 4006 will benefit those who are abducted, missing, and in life-threatening situations by being able to locate them in a more efficient way. This piece of legislation will hopefully be recognized by colleagues as important and necessary to preserve life. Please remember to vote yes on House Bill number 4006. Thank you.
Representative Ian,
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support House Bill 4006. Currently, wireless carriers are unable to provide location information without receiving a warrant because of the risk of getting sued. The bill would enact that wireless carriers and their employees aren't liable for complying with their requests for location information by law enforcement. Also, wireless carriers can make protocols, and many have, to ensure that location information is disclosed in proper circumstances, and the legislative analysis states that law enforcement agencies will likely do the same. The bill makes it a misdemeanor to misuse the provisions of the bill for personal gain. The imprisonment and/or a fine are solely a penalty for using the provisions of the bill, and any other offenses would have their independent consequences, which would be implemented as is appropriate. Please note that the only information carriers are obligated to provide is device location, which carriers are free to disclose regardless. Plus, there is no reasonable expectation of privacy regarding certain collected cell data, which unfortunately includes location data. The point is, House Bill does more good than harm, so please put your minds at ease and vote for House Bill 4006. Save lives and reunite loved ones.
thank you. The opposing caucus may now come to the close of comments. Representative Gonzalez, first Patrick, please motion. Representative Gonzalez, now.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand in opposition of House Bill 4006. What we find in this bill is that it's very faulty to go through when we look at it. First, this bill will not solve human error. Second, wireless carriers can still theoretically work around regulation if it passes. With these points of argument, I wish to prove that this plan is fraudulent in structure and won't solve. Kelsey Smith, one of many victims due to kidnapping, was murdered due to human error, as said by wireless carriers. What we find in Bill 4006 is that it won't solve the main problem. It's faulty and won't solve the current issue like human error. Along with human error is how wireless carriers can still work around policies. The way this can happen is that House Bill 4026 won't solve or regulate policies these wireless carriers can enact. Why this can happen is that wireless carriers can theoretically slow down the process of which the law enforcement can obtain the information of the location of this user. This could ruin the whole bill's intent to save lives because it does not cover this issue. What I presented here today is that Bill 4006 won't solve the current issue we have with kidnapping today. Through the lack of human errors in wireless carriers, this bill won't help victims of kidnapping such as Kelsey Smith along with many others. I wish for Bill 4606 to not be passed due to the lack of regulation and the arguments I just presented. Thank you for your time. Now I pass it on to the next senator.
Thank you. Representative, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We are against House Bill 4006 because it has the potential to be imposed. The victims could easily be disposed of, which is highly likely since most kidnappers would be aware of the bill passage. In addition, it is not uncommon to lose so with data. For instance, if you are making time when you can drive it. Also, 2/3 of Americans also known as VPNs block their studying their data from knowing computer location, which means they can't tell the law. The bill also has a very big security law. The bill states in section 1A, law enforcement agency means the Department of State Police Agency and the Village or County, Sheriff's Department, Public Safety Department, of the state university, or any other law enforcement agency. House Bill 4006 arguably gives too much power to the government. We also have seen what happens when we declare state of the they practically have a choice of becoming a state. And knowing the heart of man, they will be killed. Because the victim's phone can easily be disposed of, it is not uncommon to lose. You should support House Bill 4006 because the victim's phone can easily be disposed of, it is not uncommon to lose some computer data and 2/3 of Americans have Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Burr, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm here to propose House Bill 4006, which allows law enforcement officers access to the location in emergencies. However, they may not be using this for good. They have the ability to acquire information for misuse and personal gain. This greatly affects our privacy. There are many instances in which law enforcement officers have abused similar knowledge. Instances in which this has happened include an Ohio officer who stalked his ex-girlfriend, and a Michigan officer who looked up and acquired addresses of women he found trafficked. The risk of this happening is greater than the protection this bill is supposed to provide. Based on this evidence, I urge you to vote no on House Bill 4006. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Representative Burr. Give sponsors the now present the other arguments. Representative Miller and Dr. Gannon, please. Representative Miller, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The opposing party stated that the argument is faulty because of human error, but the bill cannot fix human error, no matter what there is going to be human error. But with this bill, there will be lives saved, and that's always a good thing. Another thing they stated was that wireless carriers can slow down the process through enacting policies of their own, which is true, but they are protected through this bill. in order to not get sued from people with misused information, which means they're never going to be able to love it. And then they also said that a loss of service was a problem. And yes, this is true, but with a loss of service, there still doesn't get service. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I implore you all to vote in support of Bill 4006.
Thank you, Representative Miller. President Kennedy. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The opposing caucus mentioned that wireless devices, if they were disposed of, that would not, they wouldn't be able to locate the location of a victim or an individual. However, the location of the wireless device when it was disposed of can aid in the search of law enforcement. Also, the opposing caucus mentioned VPNs and how they can hide your location. But this also addresses the privacy concern. VPNs can, if you have a VPN, you can change your location and it can actually aid in the privacy of an individual who may not be in danger. And finally, not only can wireless carriers make policies, but also law enforcement agencies as well. And that means that law enforcers have a lower risk of enacting a misdemeanor. So I urge you all to vote yes for House Bill 4006. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Debate is now open. Supporting and opposing arguments from the caucus. History of audience. Representative Louise and Representative Louise.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am in support of I am in opposition to House Bill 4006, cell phones and emergencies. This bill poses a threat to the protection of our privacy due to the fact that if there's human error and the report of a person has been kidnapped is inaccurate, we would be wasting our police force's time and resources that could be used for more important calls. Also, if someone were truly kidnapped could easily disarm the location, displace or dispose of the cellular device. For this reason, I urge you, my esteemed colleagues, for the sake of our privacy, vote no on House Bill 4006, cell phones and emergencies. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Representative Louise. Representative Valentine, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support House Bill 4006 because it provides the vital assistance for those at risk of serious injury or death. This bill will require wireless carriers to provide the location of requested upon devices by law enforcement to aid them in their investigations. With an accurate location, there is an increased chance of this individual's survival. In addition to the odds of success being multiplied, the bill cuts unnecessary search and time significantly. I plead with you all to take action and help save the lives of Michiganders. So vote yes for Bill 4006. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Valentine.
Madam Speaker, I move the previous question.
Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand.
Thank you, you may be seated. All those opposed to the bill, please stand. Thank you, you may be seated. Are there any extensions? Thank you, you may be seated. The clerk will give the count.
Madam Speaker, there are 24 yes votes, 16 no votes, 0 abstentions.
The bill receiving a sufficient number of votes is passed.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we take up item number 3 on the calendar, SB 991.
Bill is now open for debate. Sponsors of the bill represent will be Representative Chia, Hallmark, and Stanley Independent. Representative Chia, you know how to vote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The issue that I'm bringing forward today is protecting the freedom of press as well as listening to the other. These important issues are addressed in Senate Bill 991. This bill protects the freedom of terminally ill patients and their right to choose. This bill also allows dying patients with cancer to receive medical treatment that has passed phase 1. Even if this resident is still alive, it is limited. Let us know that patients are someone who is fighting disease. Madeline, a young mother of 4 children, was found to have a tumor in her bladder. 6 weeks into her treatment, the tumor had grown and metastasized. It was found in her lymph nodes and lungs. She and her husband had researched and found several treatments that were difficult. Sadly, because of her poor prognosis, she was not allowed to receive the difficult treatment. Families like Madeline is the reason why we need to pass House or Senate Bill 991. I urge you to vote yes to Senate Bill 991. Thank you.
Thank you, you may be seated. I apologize, the clerk will read.
Senate Bill number 991, a bill to authorize actors to make use of the experimental treatments for patients with terminal illness, people of the states of Michigan and Act.
Thank you. Representative Hallmark, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am here in support of Senate Bill 991. This bill is to provide help with the terminally ill and to provide options when all others have been exhausted. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. These are 3 qualities which we strive for. Unfortunately, not everyone can benefit from these qualities. This is especially true for terminally ill. These people, after exhausting all options, are forced to wait for their time. This is because we have chosen to stand by and watch from afar. The terminally ill have no life, no liberty, and certainly no happiness. This bill seeks to right this wicked wrong. This bill seeks to give them a new chance at life. It seeks to give them liberty, and above all, it seeks to allow the pursuit of happiness, by giving them terminally ill choice. To support this bill is to support the 3 core beliefs of America: life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This bill vies for a better future for the terminally ill and for a future of hope, a future of options, a future with the right to try. Please vote yes in support of Senate Bill 991. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Stanley, you may have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I will bring before you the Right to Try bill.
SB 991. This bill will allow terminally ill patients the right to be prescribed with experimental treatment by their main physician and/or doctor, as long as they meet all the requirements that are shown all throughout this bill. All we want is freedom for the patient to choose this experimental treatment, so that they may have more time with the ones they love, so that they could be happy once again. So I urge you, please vote yay so that they may feel a slight amount of freedom from this hindering illness. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Stanley. You may proceed. The opposing caucus may now present the opposing arguments. Representative Muniz, Representative Stoll, Representative Matt Valentine, you may find your comments. Representative Muniz, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we are talking about Senate Bill 991, a bill endangering citizens' lives. This bill, the right to try, is irresponsible and neglects safety. As you can see, this bill allows medical companies who only has phase 1 to test their drug. This experimental drug is targeted towards desperate and vulnerable individuals. This bill also makes it impossible for lower to middle class citizens to access the drug, which impacts bill effectiveness and sustainability. To add on, the medical companies and insurance bear no responsibilities while this bill may have good intentions, it simply disregards safety. FDA level 1 testing is not close enough to begin giving this drug to our systems. Level 1 testing includes test drugs for only the most common side effects. This can easily lead to the dismissal of another deadly side effect. They also test the drug on 100% healthy individuals and never once for terminal illness. Now, colleagues and I wholeheartedly support the right to liberty for our citizens, and we emphasize with terminal illness. However, with freedom there must be boundaries. Like a parent telling kids to look both ways crossing the street. Parents would say just cross the street and maybe you won't die. Of course not, and we won't say that as well. In conclusion, this bill will sacrifice more lives than save. So my colleagues, vote no on Senate Bill 991, the right to try. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Muniz. You may be seated. Representative Stoll, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are here to decide whether we will reject or pass Senate Bill 98, the right to try bill. On behalf of the Washington Green Caucus, we completely understand the desperation of those who know they will pass from terminal illness. But it is because of this desperation that the right to try bill must not be passed. One reason that supports the rejection of this bill is as follows. As specified in Section 4, subsection 1 of the bill, and I quote, "This act does not expand coverage required under the insurance code," unquote, of a previously set law. This, as well as other sections of the bill, means the cost of using this bill falls on the patient. Start with imagining the baseline healthcare cost. That average is $1,200 for each person. Now, add on to that, this experimental drug is not covered by insurance, therefore increasing the cost of the drug potentially thousands of dollars. Now add one last thing. Since this is an experimental drug, the ingredients will be expensive material from scratch, not to mention the manufacturer's profit markup. The right to try bill does not account for those who earn any level of income, whether poor or rich. The second reason for opposing this bill is as follows. The bill does not require enough honest education of the potential risks of taking these barely tested drugs to patients. We all know pharmaceutical and drug manufacturers are often in business more for the money from their patients than for the human of their patients. The passing of the right to try bill would lack requiring the pharmaceutical companies to educate the test subject of the potential outcomes of this drug. Don't normalize the exploitation of the desperate and vote nay on Senate Bill 98. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Stoll. You may be seated. Representative Valentine, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The bill under debate today is extremely flawed and dangerous. As previously stated, this bill is uninsured and unreachable for the lower and middle class. This bill also brings up another concern, the extreme lack of testing. Medicine referred to in this bill have only gone through one level of FDA testing. This testing includes 100% healthy individuals and patients who have no illness whatsoever. Another stage of testing determines only major side effects. There are two problems here. The first one is this can result in a side effect being ignored. Two, if a side effect is ignored, the patient is unable to be fully informed about medicine. This is an extreme attempt to withhold informative and necessary facts. The patient's decision will be clouded. Keep in mind these individuals are already desperate and may make a rash decision. It is our responsibility to protect the vulnerable. To recap, Senate Bill 991 is not covered by insurance and unable to be used by lower and middle class individuals. This bill gives medical companies the ability to not inform test subjects and cloud their decision. Finally, the testing of this medicine is limited and brief. Ladies and gentlemen, if I leave you with one thought today, it will be our fellow citizens are not test subjects. This is a real problem involving real people. I urge you to vote no on Senate Bill 991. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Valentine. Ms. Foster may now present the bottle arguments. Representative Dowling, please approach the microphone. Representative Dowling, you now have the floor.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, fellow representatives. Before us today is a bill that seeks to cultivate the constitutional ideals of liberty, freedom of choice, and personal responsibility. And it is our responsibility as Americans who seek to form a more perfect union to encourage these very ideas. However, the opposing caucus would attempt to deceive you into believing that the ideals of patient safety are more lofty and grand than liberty itself. This is simply not true. You see, they would argue that this bill neglects patient safety. This is not the case. In fact, while this drug may have passed phase 1 testing in the FDA, it has indeed passed phase 1 testing in the FDA. It requires extensive research as to the side effects of the drug on healthy individuals. To pass, this requires that the health status of the patient does not change throughout the experiment. Furthermore, they say that there's insufficient. Furthermore, they say that the patient himself is not educated in their decisions. This is further not true. The physician and the patient must be credible and informed consent, admitting that this is the most likely treatment to produce the health and well-being of the patient. I ask you to join with me with one of our founding colleagues, Benjamin Franklin, by saying that they who yield a little liberty or a little safety deserve neither and lose both. In summary, this bill promotes the constitutional ideals of liberty, freedom of choice, and personal responsibility. And these values are grander and more lofty than that of personal safety. And so I implore you, Mr. Speaker and fellow representatives, to vote in full support of Senate Bill 991, the right to trial. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Dowling. You may be seated. Debate is now open for supporting and opposing arguments from other congressmen. Representative Fisher, Representative Hoffman, please approach the microphone with the federal. Representative Fisher, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand here today in opposition to Senate Bill 991, the right to try. This bill endangers our citizens, discriminates against lower class, and benefits big pharma profit. For this reason, I urge you to vote no on Senate Bill 991. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Fisher. You may be seated. Representative Hoffman, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I am here today to support Bill 991, the right to try. What if your friend got sick? Each treatment she tried failed by one, and the doctor says there's no hope. But you hear of a drug that just might save her. It isn't tested and available for normal use. You have to pay the cost of insurance. But just as Bill 991 says, you have the right to try. You ask your friend. If she said no, that's her choice and her right. If she decides the risks are worth it, this is also her right, just as the ones who are willing to test it, be healthy. I urge you to vote yes for Bill 991 and give patients the right to try. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Cox. You may be seated.
And the previous question.
Without objection, the previous question approved. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. All those opposed, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. Are there any abstentions? Please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. The clerk will give the count.
There were 24 yes votes, 15 no votes, and 1 abstention.
The bill receiving a sufficient number of votes is passed.
Members of the House will go to recess at the call of the chair.
Without objection, we will take a 5-minute recess.
That has good. Okay. I figured it out. Okay, what was your, it passed? Yes, what was the result? How many were those? There was 24 days. What? 16 days. Right? 0 states. And then ours was passed. This is the lab. This is the lab. Yeah, I already have my article signed, and then I'm writing a story. You want to hear my story? But it's a really good story. I'll bet you later.
Oh, word. Did you put me in there? Did you like actually tell me?
And bet
At the moment, so you were like,
guy
yeah. Cyrus.
and he was
The bill is now open for debate and sponsors. The bill to be presented in arguments. Representative Hill, Representative Martin, Representative Hudson.
Why is he
child was very young and was still attached. She was pronounced dead on the scene, but had no wounds or injuries. The organization called Hemoes Remain for Child. They took her in immediate place and buried her with all honor. Ladies and gentlemen, such heartbreaking tragedies are horrible. However, they are shockingly frequent in our society. Many times anxious and worried mothers are in terrible situations where they know that they cannot take care of their child. Because there's no other choice for them, no safe path to take, they will often dump their child in dangerous and terrible places. Babies are black, trash bags, dumpsters, sweatshirts, and all manner of awful and inappropriate places. Why? Simply because our society is not Ladies and gentlemen, the state of Michigan wants to provide them with the option of safety and baby process. So we can stop these horrible tragedies. Please vote yes on House Bill 551. Again, sit in your house. Just stand up for the babies and young infants in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Leo. May I have a seat? Representative Martin, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm here to support the House Bill 5751 to save baby pregnancies. People are abandoning their newborn babies in a dangerous position because they have no good way to save them from standing condoms. Safe baby devices are an easy way for parents to care for their children whenever that option. Boxes are built into the side of emergency such as fire houses, hospitals, and police stations. Access to the inside and emergency worker is able to access the baby that are left in the box from the outside. As soon as the baby is put in from the outside, the box is unlocked in 3 seconds. Alarm bells and alerts the emergency workers. When the baby is received, it is taken to the hospital and checked for wounds or sicknesses afterwards. The baby is taken to the hospital for 28 days so as to make sure there is an non-surrender parent who is still on the baby. Then these children will be sent to an adoption center. I urge my student associates to pass this letter of need piece of legislation. I vote yes on House Bill 5751.
Thank you, Representative Martin. May I have a seat? Representative Husband, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am speaking in support of House Bill 5157, the safety of baby boxes. Child abandonment has been a problem for as long as we know. The numbers of illegal abandonment in Michigan used to be 62 per year. However, as of the previous safe haven law, those numbers have drastically dropped to only 18 per year. This is already such a great improvement, but those are still children's lives that are being lost each year. Children who are losing the chance to enjoy everyday experiences that every person should experience, but are unable to live any such life at all, just because their parent is unable to provide them and unfortunately chooses a way out that robs the child of life. These boxes provide yet another option that is easier and less stressful for parents to secure a better life for their child by allowing them to restrict healthcare professionals, and then later, if circumstances allow, the child will be adopted by a local family who wants to help the child. These boxes have already proven useful in other states, and these boxes over 130 children have been given a chance to live a life that otherwise would have been lost much too soon. These boxes do not cost the state any money, as all the boxes are paid for by generous private donors who all believe that these boxes make a difference in the safe haven organization. So I urge you all to make an impact in those lives around you and help those infants and their struggling parents by voting yes to House Bill 5157.
Thank you, Representative Husband. You may have a seat. The closing caucus may now begin the closing arguments. Representative Aarons, Ada, Glouch, and Representative Valiant. Representative Aarons, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am here to speak in opposition to House Bill 5751, safety of life. I think we can all agree that every baby's life is important, and we should do all we can to save as many of its lives as possible. I also do believe that the funds in this bill are well intentioned. However,
interaction when a parent is with a child. Now, sponsorship of this ability was like a good thing, as the parent might be less ashamed placing their child in a box rather than taking it into your directly, which is already allowed in the child. However, there are many disadvantages to this lack of social interaction. For example, it's very unlikely that the EMT workers will receive any medical information about the child, including medical history, early diseases, or even just blood work. All of this information will be unknown. Even the most extensive medical tests cannot determine baby pregnancy. Because of this lack of information, the child is likely to get a carrier plan. Instead, if the infant was surrendered to a medical worker directly, the EMT would have a chance to ask these questions of the parents and possibly get information from the child. It is true that parents can outfit a baby using a safe baby device have the option of filling out a card with the baby's medical information. However, the whole point is that the baby has anonymity. Do you truly think a parent would want to be seen standing in front of one of these boxes for an extended period of time, filling out a card with infant's medical information? I feel that the funds that would be used to install and maintain these devices could be instead put towards a better solution, such as resources from repair loans. Because of all these issues with the state aid device, I urge you, fellow representatives, to vote no on House Bill 5751.
Thank you, Representative Barron's Community C. Representative Aya, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I stand before you all to the part of countless hours of research and deep contemplation. I have come to a certain conclusion about the safety of baby boxes or House Bill 575. Child abandonment is a heartbreaking reality that we cannot ignore. These safety devices, we versus normalizing away children, as in, and give the impression that it's okay to tell kids. One day we decide to know. We have seen where abortion comes. In some states, you can have an abortion at any time during pregnancy. In some states, these baby boxes will take babies 1 year old. Then you must make the question, when will it stop? Or what's stopping the mother from abandoning her 2-year-old child? Another way this will encourage child abandonment is not that at least you didn't abort the child, but it does not make it acceptable to shamelessly leave the child. Let us not utilize child abandonment, but rather strive for society where women are made I don't think that's the standard we against House Bill 575.
Thank you, Representative Aya. Community C. Representative Flush, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, I'm wholeheartedly fighting against House Bill 5751, and I'd like to stress this. The supposed solution of this problem that was earlier presented is completely insufficient whatsoever. As many of you may have seen in the flyer supporting this bill, it stated, and I quote, parents find themselves facing limited options that result in illegal abandonment or abortion, end quote. This is very false. Under the current law we have called the Safe Haven Law, parents can legally abandon newborns by putting it under the care of nurses or doctors. That is the third option that was stated in the flyer. Most and almost all newborns that are abandoned in this way. And if the system is not broken, then why try to fix it? And why should generous donors spend money on a new solution we already have a perfect refinement? $2.5 million have been spent on 152 safe haven baby boxes nationwide. They've only been used approximately 120 times per day. Some of the boxes have not even been used. We could have used that money to help with other things, to help with the law that we already have in place. Another reason why the safe haven baby boxes were made is to help bring down the abortion rate. This does not make a dent in the abortion rate. I understand that the baby boxes should be in a state of abortion with demand, but not permission, not now. To vote no on House Bill 5751, the safe haven
Madam Speaker. I'm speaking in opposition of House Bill 5751, which enacts to allow parents to surrender their newborn baby into a safe haven device. House Bill 5751 is an unworthy bill that envelops vague and untrustworthy points, one of which includes how these devices handle babies who are victims of child abuse. The Safe Haven Baby device's main goal is to make it safe and easy for mothers to abandon their children anonymously. Although it may do that, if a child is found abused, where is the abuser's accountability? If someone has hurt a child, we want to find that person immediately. Although this bill does address how the baby will be protected by reporting abuse and hospitalizing him or her, it doesn't address the very serious crime of child abuse. If a man is harming the child, what other children could he abuse? Should we simply let this bill pass and forget how this bill does not have a way of holding the surrendering mother or father accountable for harming a vulnerable, helpless, and innocent child? You must see how this bill has such a large hole in it that it tolerates the vile crime of child abuse. Remember how great an impact abuse can have. Vote no to House Bill 5751. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Gagliardi. You may take a seat. Ms. London, I now present rebuttal arguments. Representative Kirkpatrick, Representative Kirkpatrick, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. One of the points made was that these bucks are too expensive and do not save young babies. The concern is not the amount of money being spent. The concern is that innocent image bearers of God are being murdered. Another point was that abusive parents can go without punishment. If an abused child is being given to safe haven devices, it is better than if the child was abandoned in the dumpster to die. Either way, the abuser would not be punished, but at least the child's life would be spared. It is also more likely to find the abuser if an abuser is identified. If the child was left somewhere else to die, no one would know that the abuser ever existed. Another point was that the baby needs medical information. When the baby is brought up, it is immediately checked out by a professional physician. Thank you. In conclusion, I urge you to vote in support of House Bill 5751.
Thank you, Representative Kirkpatrick. You may take a seat. Representative Hoffman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I want to say that this bill is not meant to bring people to justice. There are other bills. This bill is meant to save a child's life. We live in a world where child abuse, trafficking, and abortion are so common that we are being told it is okay. And that is not true. This bill is not able to bring those to justice, but it is able to bring those children who are product of those things alive. I was told by another speaker that it was meant to lower abortion rates. This is not true. This bill is not meant to stop these things. This bill is meant to save the child, not anyone else. If we are willing to sacrifice a little bit for something like abortion, shouldn't we be able to sacrifice this a little bit to save the children? We're not paying money. This is just a bill that allows a child to be saved. So I encourage you, allow children to be saved. Vote yes on House Bill number 5751, Safe Haven Devices. Thank you, Madam Chair.
It's Madam Speaker. Debate is now open for supporting and opposing arguments from the offices. Representative Danner, you have the floor.
and Representative Muniz. Please run back. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have chosen to oppose House Bill 5751. This bill would normalize and excuse mothers that want to get rid of their infants. It would normalize being unashamed of their infant or about giving up your baby. The mother could escape accountability and notifying anyone. The safe haven baby device is frankly an easier alternative to abortion. Please vote no on Bill 5751. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Daniel, you may have a seat. Representative Muniz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I come in support of House Bill 5751, the Safe Haven Bill. With this bill, pressured or abused mothers would have a chance to give up their babies without the struggle or embarrassment of going to the adoption center. It is imperative that we pass this bill so that mothers don't feel the need to abort their babies or leave them on the streets. Therefore, I encourage my esteemed colleagues, for the sake of our future and for the sake of infants who don't have a choice, vote yes on House Bill 5751, Safe Haven Bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Muniz, you may have a seat. Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand. Thank you, you may be seated. All those opposed to the bill, please stand. Thank you, you may be seated. Are there any abstentions? Please stand. The clerk will lead the count. The bill receiving insufficient number of votes, is not passed. Hold on just a second. It is insufficient.
A quick announcement, we are going to start our tour for the senators soon. With the following senators, please make their way to the back of the room. Jonathan Walters, Samantha McKinney, Avery Howard, Benjamin Lambert, Justin Reno, Giovanna Cuneo, Logan Rose, Maggie McGill, David Jasper, Josiah Elmers, Annabelle Hope, and Zach Cole. If you do not want to attend the tour, you do not have to. You can stay where you are. That's your choice to make.
The clerk will read.
House Bill 4162, a bill to amend 1976 PA 451, entitled the Revised School Code. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
The bill is now open for debate. Sponsors of the bill may present opening arguments. Representative Luch, Representative Bigelow, and Representative House. Please find a microphone near you. Representative Luch, you now have the floor.
I am here today to support the bill, HB 4162. President Lowe. We have a problem in our schools that affects any child, any age, and that, of course, is bullying. More than 3,700 total schools are found in Michigan, assisting about 1.8 million students every single day. Unfortunately, 1 out of every 5 students have reported moderate or frequent involvement in bullying. Due to this horrible tragedy, many students are affected by some sort of bullying or harassment, whether emotional, physical, or psychological. This almost always tends to affect the child's personal lives and academic performance. These children need a solution, and that, in a few minutes you will learn, is exactly what this bill will provide. Thank you for your time today, and please vote yes to Bill HB 4162 to help prevent bullying one student at a time.
Thank you, Representative Luch. You may have a seat. Representative Bigelow, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've come before all of you today to propose our solution to this unignorable issue of bullying. We propose a bill that requires the board of the school district to adopt a policy which prohibits bullying in schools. This policy can be tailored to the needs and abilities of each individual school. However, it will be required that that policy includes a certain number of rules and regulations which must be implemented in the subcommittee in order to ensure that this issue is properly and effectively addressed. These rules and regulations are proposed in the bill, and the board purposes include: A, the state prohibiting bullying and harassment of the student or school attendee. B, a proper definition of bullying and harassment is innate activity in the bill. C, a procedure for reporting an act of bullying or harassment, including provisions for the reports to be filed anonymously. D, a report for immediate investigation of reports of violations and complaints, identify the principal or the principal designate as the person responsible for the completion of the investigation. G, disciplinary action for a person that will falsely file a report of bullying or harassment. H, the state will require school employees to provide information that is incurred to report the incidents to the principal or designate. J, the Department of Education shall develop a model policy and approval of the various states of government in order to provide assistance to school districts and public school academies. As you may know, this bill also falls under the name of Mass State School Law. This is in reference to a child who committed suicide, due to trauma being under the malicious influence of bullying in school hours. From this example and many, many others, it is clear that schools across the nation and Michigan have not been responding adequately to the problems of this issue. It is from that point that I beg you to vote in favor of Mass State School Law. Vote in favor of this bill so that children are not left at the mercy or lack thereof of bullies under the blind eye of schools not prepared adequately respond to this issue. Do this for your children, for your future children. See this for the future of our society. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Bigelow. Representative House, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Everyone is affected by bullying. The bully is actually somewhere, the student experiencing harassment are affected, and those who witness this activity experience are affected by bullying. Bullying is something that exists in every school, whether or not you take notice of it and decide to change your perception. Bullying is a severe and extensive amount of side effects, which can result in academic, intellectual, and career goals. Test averages, achievements, and grades are affected by the act of bullying, discrimination, and abuse in the street. That is why House Bill 4162 is in support of implementing a policy that will prohibit bullying school boundaries. Therefore, we created a safe and effective learning environment for students, teachers, and staff to flourish. Vote for House Bill 4162 and help us prohibit bullying together.
Thank you so much, Representative House. The opposing caucus can now present their opposing arguments. Representative Volker, Representative Hawkins, Representative Danner, and Representative Fisher. Representative Volker, once you're ready, you may now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here to oppose HB 4162. The bill is making schools have a set anti-bullying program rather than letting schools make their own program based on the culture of the school's students. Some schools may be a more intense program, and some schools may not need a program at all. In the state of Michigan, there are 587 school districts and 3,700 schools. If there are problems in the schools, they can have struggles implementing the anti-bullying program. Due to the inflexibility of this bill, this anti-bullying bill should be a local government issue rather than a state government level bill. Like I said before, the state does not govern the culture of the school as well as the local government does. Thank you. Please vote on opposition of House Bill 4162.
Thank you, Representative Volker. Representative Hawkins, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to in the legislature. In opposition to House Bill 4162, which may adopt a one-size-fits all anti-harassment and local policy. I propose that this bill is the best way to solve this problem. It is not cost effective and will require a substantial amount of money. The solution which this bill proposes is better proposed by the local government and not by the state, as the local government is better suited for personal welfare of the students. The bill also does not state clearly boundaries between joking and harassment. The claim that legacies are at risk is true, but if you add the bill into law, what will be the legacies of those punishments? As stated in the bill, all acts of harassment and bullying will go on the record, disciplinary record. Now it is also stated that the principal or their assignee will be in charge of the investigation and identification of harassment and bullying. The training of the teacher and their staff is also Now, the training and the teaching of staff and teachers of the school must be done rigorously and training. The staff and faculty might not have full capacity, which is a problem for schools because this bill mandates all protocol must be within 6 months of the testing. In the bill's own way, it punishes bullies, but it does not have any rehab for the students who are bullied. Now, I have a last word on House Bill 4160. This bill will allow you to get a form of more harassment. It will only put more against these people in the students. We can sometimes be falsely accused. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Hawkins. You may have the floor. Representative Danner, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to oppose House Bill 4162. Bullying and harassment hurts many people. This is a fact. Whether it's the victim, bystanders, or even the perpetrator. Victims can deal with trauma, mental illness, and other devastating side effects. This impedes their futures and their ability to do well in any area of life. Perpetrators are faced with punishments which are justly deserved and receive a stained disciplinary record. However, this hinders their educational opportunities and benefits, just like the victims. Finally, bystanders may find it difficult to bear the burden of witnessing a fight or situation. As a representative who opposes this bill, which prohibits bullying, doesn't mean I support bullying and harassment. Bullying and harassment is a dehumanizing and demeaning branch of torture. That being said, I want to briefly mention the disadvantage this bill holds. First, this bill requires school officials to work with parents and law enforcement to adopt and implement a policy that prohibits harassment or bullying. This is a state mandated policy. Why should the State Department of Education be addressing these procedures? Local districts should be granted the freedom to tailor and determine the best methods to suit their needs. This top-down mandate would not line up with the United States constitutional mantra of the people, by the people, for the people. Please consider this testimony and evidence. I implore you, my respected colleagues, for this unconstitutional piece of legislation, vote no on bill number 4162. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Tanner. You may sit down. Representative Fisher, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In opposition of bill number 4162, the prohibiting of bullying, I would like to bring up a big concern. Currently, many students in the state of Michigan are dealing with the effects of bullying. Unfortunately, this bill only punishes those who are bullying instead of creating a positive school atmosphere. In order to be able to implement a desirable school culture, students need to be able to be taught how to relate with one another with the attitude of respect. Instead, students are only being punished for the wrong without showing them how to correct their behavior. Furthermore, if you want to limit bullying in schools, teachers need to focus in on the underlying issues of lack of respect, kindness, and tolerance for fellow students. This is why I'm in opposition to House Bill number 4162. Because it only punishes the bullying without focusing on the change that will fix the underlying issue of bullying. So please vote no for House Bill number 4162. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's Mr. Speaker's here, sir. Sponsors may now present rebuttal arguments. Serafina Luch and Isaac Pastor. Representative Luch and Representative Pastor. Just Representative Pastor. Representative Pastor, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the past week, we in Jefferson Green have been pushing for HB 4162 in order to protect our students. During the past 6 minutes, the Jefferson Blue Caucus has been addressing some of what they see as concerns within this bill. I would like to alleviate as many of these concerns as I can in the next 2 minutes. Their greatest concern by far was that we are overstepping our boundaries. The greatest concern was the centralization of decisions in the education community. Are we overstepping our jurisdiction? However, our bill recognizes the necessity of local schools within the creation of bills, of policies. Our bill gives as much power as possible to local schools. What our bill does is mandate that they have a policy that includes a minimum baseline to help prevent bullying. We leave the individual specifics of the bill up to the schools. We recognize that each school will need a different policy. And so we leave the specifics of the bill up to each school. This is not a one size fits all. This is an outline, a baseline for schools to build. One of their next greatest concerns was that there was a financial impact. However, the financial impact of this bill will not be super great on the individual. Most of the impact of it is they have to pay 50 cents at church. Thirdly, the concern that they brought up was that of a positive school environment, that this bill does not create a positive school environment. And I understand that. You have to remove the illness before treating the symptoms. Otherwise, the symptoms will just continue to repeat themselves within the school body. This bill removes the illness of bullying and harassment, or at least attempts to. It's not a perfect bill by any means, but it is our strongest option. Thank you, and I urge your support of HB 4162 to help protect tens of thousands of students statewide.
Thank you, Representative Baxter. Debate is now open for supporting and opposing arguments from the other caucuses. Representative Fluch and Representative Dowling. Representative Fluch, you now have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm speaking in opposition of House Bill 4162. I believe that the perimeters of the bill is too vague, and they basically say inside the bill that basically any type of bullying and harassment is something that hurts another person's feelings. And that could basically be anything if you're the sensitive person. Therefore, I think that it is far too vague, and so vote no on House Bill 4162. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Fluch. Representative Dowling, you now have the floor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 4162 recognizes the great evil among our government's public school system and seeks to offer a remedy that is both fair and equal. This bill, above all, seeks to encourage and establish a safe environment that promotes a student's pursuit of happiness and right to education. It is for this reason that I encourage you, Mr. Speaker, and my fellow representatives to join me in support of House Bill 4162, the act for the bill. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Representative Dowling. Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand. Thank you, thank you. You may be seated. All those opposed to the bill, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. The clerk will give the count. Any abstentions? Clerk will give the count.
Here, Mr. Speaker, there are 19 yeses, 20 noes, and 0 abstentions.
Bill receiving an insufficient number of votes is not passed.
Madam Speaker, I live to that we take a 98 on the calendar. Item 6 on the calendar, House Bill, House Bill, House Bill 98.
The clerk will read.
Senate Bill number 98, a bill to provide compensation and other relief for individuals wrongfully imprisoned for crime. The people of the state of Michigan and Mass.
The bill is now open for debate. The sponsors of the bill may present opening arguments. Representative Weidman, Representative Gann, Representative Booth, please find a microphone. Representative Weidman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support Senate Bill number 98, the wrongful imprisonment compensation, because we have horrible exonerates people who were convicted of a crime and later officially declared innocent of that crime are getting compensated for their lost time, agency, and money. We have made a huge mistake in imprisoning the wrong. We need to help these people get back on their feet and return to a normal life in society. It takes about 11 years for people to return to completely normal. We must take action. This is where the bill is. It gives compensation to those wrongdoers. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Julie Bond who had just got adopted. The child's doctor diagnosed him with shaken baby syndrome. Julie was accused and imprisoned for abuse for 4 years until doctors discovered that the baby had had a young heart attack. She lost her livelihood, job opportunities, and most importantly, a chance to live. This is a problem. We need to fix it. This bill helps us redeem ourselves in the eyes of the public, or mostly in the eyes of the people who remember. Vote yes on Senate Bill number 98.
Thank you, Representative Weidman, you may have a seat. Representative Gann, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This bill provides an excellent solution to the problem at hand. Exonerate will receive a compensation of $60,000 while being distributed by the Michigan State Budget. Ultimately, this money will never replace the time these individuals have lost in jail or undo the time that our state has caused. However, the proposed financial package could help find the resources they need to get back on their feet. For example, a therapist and financial stability for their family. It is not our responsibility to regulate what they spend the money. It is our job as servants to the loyal citizens of Michigan to trust that the exoneree will use the funds appropriately. We sincerely apologize for the mistake of wrongfully imprisoning these innocent individuals, and we believe this bill will help us go in the right direction. Members vote yes on Senate Bill 98.
Thank you, Representative Gann. Representative Booth, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As my fellow representative has mentioned, our state is far from perfect. Our state is made up of imperfect people who have done wrong by accusing, sentencing, and incarcerating innocent people. However, we are trying our best to do what's right. Senate Bill number 98 is a win-win situation for both the exoneree and the legislature. For the exoneree, they will be able to reintegrate back into society with a clean slate. In turn, these individuals will be able to get jobs, spend time with their families, and more, making our economy and society better. For the state, we can atone for our wrongdoings without going into the long process of litigation. We can also show the people we serve that we are willing and able to be vulnerable and accountable for our actions. We have our constituents' best interests at heart. I earnestly urge you to vote yes for Senate Bill number 98. Thank you.
The opposing caucus may now present the opposing arguments. Representatives Crane, Representative Russell, Representative Durkee, please find a microphone. Representative Crane, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This speech is to tell you to vote no on Senate Bill number 98. The bill only gives $60,000 a year to a wrongfully imprisoned individual, which is not enough.
If someone was in prison for many years, or even just a few, they can easily get trauma and mental damage from these harsh environments, being in prison for so long, even if it was just a year. This bill provides monetary compensation, but not mental. Offering just $60,000 isn't enough, and realistically could be even less if this money is taxed. And how can we trust that people won't spend the money on bad or harmful things if they get free from prison? The opposing team may argue that you just go to therapy afterwards, but the chance of mentally ill going to therapy on their own can be slim, depending on how severe it is. They also may not have family to pay for therapy or have enough money of their own after the possible taxes from the shooting the money. And that's another thing. This bill does not state whether or not this given money will be taxed. They can lose thousands of those dollars. It also does not say how the government will get this money to give to the wrong people in prison. I can only imagine it would be through citizen taxes, making the average person pay more and more if they did not make what the government did, not us. There are too many things the bill does not state. We cannot pass it. They can't be completely compensated in this bill. So I'm not telling that they shouldn't be compensated in some way, but rather that they should be given something more than this bill offers. I agree to vote no on wrongful victim compensation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Green. Representative Russell, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Firstly, I would like to state I'm in opposition to Senate Bill 98 because it is too ambiguous, specifically in the issue of funding. Nowhere in the bill does it state where the funding is coming from. Now, I'm going to quote a representative from Washington Green. They said during the press conference on Tuesday, we assume the funding comes from the state treasurer. The use of the word assume implies proof from my previous statement that it is unclear where the funding is coming from. And if we were going to take from any other government institution, such as law enforcement, we would be trading one problem for another. That is if the exoneree actually has compensation. You see, police-induced false confessions are one of the leading cause of wrongful convictions. Since the late 1980s, 6 studies alone have documented approximately 250 interrogation-induced false confessions. Also, in the Dow and Roulette's 1987 study, false confessions were the third leading cause of wrongful conviction. And in Gordon's 2003 study, they were the single leading cause. There have also been 317 DNA exonerated individuals in the United States. In about 30% of DNA exoneration cases, innocent defendants made incriminating statements, delivered outright confessions, or pled guilty. With that information in mind, I would like to turn your attention to Senate Bill 98, Section 3, Subsection 2. The bill states, for purposes of this act, a conviction does not include the acceptance by the court of a guilty plea or a plea of no contendere. With that being said, I can reasonably conclude that at least 30% of these claims for compensation will be turned down. If that does not sound like injustice to you, I don't know what will. In conclusion, I can say without reasonable doubt that Senate Bill 98 does not provide enough crucial information and enough opportunity for wrongfully convicted individual for a wrongfully convicted. Please vote for in opposition to Bill 98.
Thank you, Representative Russell. Representative Derby, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am in opposition to Senate Bill 98, the wrongful imprisonment compensation. As my colleagues have said, we have found ambiguity, as well as the fact that the bill does not go on enough. These are innocent people being put in jail for years for a crime they did not commit. This is terrifying. It's one of the most terrifying places to be for a long period of time, where you have to fight daily just to survive. Well, it seems wonderful that the government wants to pay restitution for this egregious mistake. And it's not as wonderful as it seems. This bill will hurt more than it will help, due to several things that the bill seems completely missed. As my colleague Representative Russell pointed out, in Gordon's 2003 study on exonerations, false confessions, or an innocent person pleading guilty
are the single leading answer a plaintiff will give in the case. Ladies and gentlemen, exonerated who pled guilty in the original trial are not compensated after they are exonerated. This means that the government is completely bypassing a huge percentage of exonerees. These exonerees are just as innocent as those who have not pled guilty, but merely been convicted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not right. This is not just. This is not equal compensation. And so I implore you, fellow representatives, on the basis that this bill does not do enough, indeed, even more harm than good, vote no on Senate Bill 98. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Durkee. The sponsors may now present rebuttal arguments. Representative Valentine, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Our job today is to help undo our mistakes. When our court systems wrongfully imprison someone, we take their life, liberty, and furthermore, their pursuit of happiness. Some concerns were raised about what exonerees will do with the funds they receive. In response, I say it is not our right to monitor how innocent citizens spend their money. Innocent citizens. This will be an extreme overreach for our duties. The reason physical evidence or DNA is needed for compensation is we must fully confirm the innocence of these individuals. We must take responsibility and help these innocent citizens get compensated so they are able to get back to their normal life. Some questions were raised about funding. We know the funding comes from the Michigan State Treasury. They get $60,000 a year per year they were in prison. Please vote yes on Senate Bill 98. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Debate is now open for supporting and opposing arguments from the other caucuses. Representative Kirkpatrick and Representative Bigelow, please find a microphone. Representative Kirkpatrick, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mrs. Speaker. I'm Representative William Kirkpatrick, and I stand in complete opposition to Senate Bill 98. This bill does not support proper execution of justice by withholding sufficient compensation for exonerated prisoners. Furthermore, this bill does not properly outline the state's method of compensation to the exonerated, thereby discharging the exonerated life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. For these reasons, I implore you, Mrs. Speaker, to oppose
Madam Speaker.
To oppose Senate Bill 98. Thank you.
Representative Bigelow, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I come today in full support of House Bill 98, Joseph Bob. This bill proposes a financial compensation for the wrongfully convicted at over $60,000 per year. This is fair, yet I still say that it is a reasonable amount to be paid, and it is fully justified by those who wrongfully convicted. This amount can really add up to the number of years, and it is all paid out in one point. It is all paid out at a single point in time instead of being dished out gradually with other salaries. So I recommend that this is great. I beg that you vote in support of this bill as it is fully just. Thank God, Speaker.
Madam Speaker, I move the previous question. Without any objection, the previous question is ordered. The bill is now on third reading. All those in favor of passing the bill, please stand.
Thank you, you may be seated. All those opposed to the bill, please stand. Thank you, you may be seated. Are there any abstentions? Please stand. Thank you. The clerk will give the count.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
It's Madam Speaker.
19 no votes and 21 yes votes. 0 abstentions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now,
Could you give the count?
21 yes, 19 no.
The bill receiving a sufficient number of votes is passed.
All right, well done, all. Great, thank you. You guys did an exceptional job. You worked hard this week and it showed. Well done. So grateful for us to be in this building together to hear the arguments, to see the fruition of your work. You have honored your colleagues and your fellow candidates here this week, and you have honored the Lord thy God for your dedication to your work and your respect to others this week as well. Please make sure to continue to treat children with respect. Again, it's an honor as we head out here. Make sure you come to your chairs nicely. Leave nothing on the desk. Again, this has been the seat of democracy in Michigan for 144 years. Those desks that you sit at were here opening day. Those are the original desks. It's an honor to be here, so we're really very thankful to Speaker Tate, Clerk Brown, and the sergeants who have all worked to allow us to be here today, especially our house technology people who keep the mics running for us as well. We're incredibly grateful for that. Let's give them one of the faculty and round of applause. Thank you, this year that we didn't overlap with the actual Michigan House session schedule that has happened in the past. It nearly happened in one camp as they worked on the $81 billion budget that building will be. And there have been times where they have gone, even in the last 2 or 3 years, where our House session has gone until 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. And the sergeants and the staff have shown up the next morning at 8 a.m. to be ready to open the doors for us again. So we're incredibly grateful for the many years we've been able to use this building. I hope that you carry everything you've learned this week forward with you. It's been an honor to watch you learn and grow. Make sure you put that on your name tags as we leave. Take some photos. You know, normally to get on the House floor, you have to be escorted by a current elected member of the state house. That is how you get on the House floor. You can't just walk in, even on a guided tour, you cannot just walk into the building. You have to be met and escorted by an elected member of the state house. You all are here on the floor of the state house. It's an honor. Take the photos, post them on Instagram, tag us, tell everybody how much fun you had this week. Parents, please remember that we'll have our closing ceremony at 5 o'clock in the White Auditorium on Spring Arbor University's campus. After that, we will happily let you take your young people home. In addition to that, we'll have closing instructions and everything there. And here's some testimonies from you guys about what God has done in your lives this week. We'll have an opportunity with the mic on stage. We'd love to hear from you about what God has been doing in your life through the program this week. It looks like we are ahead of the schedule to your effective and efficient argument that will have time to change when we get back to the Capitol. If we get crazy traffic, we'll let you know if that changes. But that's the plan right now. And including the chair of this TikTok, you have your name tags, get some photos on the way out, stay together as committees. We'll have a 10-minute break when we adjourn to use the bathroom, grab a drink of water, and prepare to leave. Again, get some group photos, use the restrooms before we go onto the buses. You now, members of the House of Representatives, know more than the majority of adults about how our government works. You can read a bill, you know what all the text means, you know what it means when it's struck out. You've read an analysis on a real bill. You've walked through the committee process. Schoolhouse rock, hands on schoolhouse rocks. Okay, schoolhouse rock. All right, you guys did all your parents got it. You guys did an incredible job. Don't let this knowledge go to waste. You are also now better equipped as communicators. Some of you have never spoken publicly before this morning. I'm incredibly proud of you for getting on knees shaking, lips quivering, perhaps, but you got up and you did it. You all, one way or another, have a conviction inside of them. Hopefully that's a conviction and a passion for Christ. There are other convictions that we have in our lives that we are very passionate about. Good are those things that we cannot communicate them to those around us. That's the call of the gospel, share the good news. So use these tools as a communicator. Better equipped, you don't have to be a great orator, but you have to learn to communicate. That's how we build a relationship, and that's how we share the gospel. So use those as you move forward. But with that, again, we'll have a 10-minute break as soon as we adjourn, but in order to adjourn, I'll need a motion to get some of the volunteers to say that they're ready to go and go back to campus. Senator?
Mr. Speaker, I move to adjourn.
Is there a second? Representative? Representative, thank you for that. Second, is there any objection? All the ayes say aye. Aye. All the nays say nay. Nay. Are there any abstentions? Wonderful. You can stay here with me. No. Seeing no sufficient objection, the House stands adjourned. Well done.
All right, you be all so kind as to line up this way. We'll shoot.
Hey, Chicago.
You can line up this way. Hey!
Before you start,
Can you get sit, please? Thank you.
before you start, what's under there?
To the what? No, you're not getting it.
Oh my gosh, that's actually so fun.
It's all good. Thank you.
And go line.
Could you sit later?
First of all, as you are, you gotta go there. No, you're lying. I got you. The girl I was with.
Congratulations.
But you
Filipino,
are.
congratulations. How you feel right now?
I'm very proud.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm very pleased that one out of our two bills, my two bills passed. Actually, the harder one out of the two passed. I thought it'd be easier to argue this lower voting age, but I'm very pleased that the harder one passed and we put a lot of work into it.
How'd you feel about the speech?
I thought I did a good job. I thought I'd be a lot more serious. To be honest, with the anti-bullying bill, I basically prized that entire 30-second speech. I had some bits written down, but that guy argued basically against it. And I didn't want to say that. I thought my other two speeches were.
Thank you so much for your feelings. Thanks for doing these interviews too. I appreciate it. Josh, let's switch you. Really, go ahead. Hey, just right here. I'm grabbing you just for a minute, please. Thank you. Josh, how do you feel? How do you feel? Feel just went through. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good.
How do you feel about your speech?
I did pretty good on my speech.
Did you care to elaborate?
I didn't really know something.
Are you happy with your performance?
Yes. Really good.
Do you have anything you'd like to add? Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate it.
Add that last one. Add that last one. Add that last one.
Thank you so much. Rayla, how do you feel about your performance? How do you feel about your speech?
It was scary, but I did great, I think. I mean, there's some places where I stumbled a bit, but I got myself. And hopefully I didn't sound weird. But yeah, I enjoyed it. And I feel like I could have contributed more, but my classes didn't push me, and they were kind of just giving me.
How do you feel right now?
Satisfied and very happy to be here. But also, like, excited that I've learned.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing these interviews. Lisa, how do you feel?
I'm feeling very excited.
So why is that?
Our bill did pass with the exact 50% plus one.
How do you feel about your speech?
I feel like I delivered it well. I did get a bit nervous, but after the third speech, I kind of like was able to slow myself down.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, last but not least, bring it home, bring us home, bring us home. How you feeling right now? How you feeling?
I feel ecstatic.
It's stacked right now. Why is that?
I am very proud of myself. You know, first rebuttal was okay, but then as I said my other skills, I was more confident, and I feel like I totally crunched the opponent, so.
Do you have anything you'd like to add?
Thank you for allowing me to
Thank
be here.
you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your time. See you back. Sorry about that, Isaac.
No worries. I'd apologize for ruining the shot, but any shot I'm in is an improvement.